Hello guys, this is Akshay Daga and welcome back to APDaga's Dumb Box. And in this video, we will talk about map function in Python. So what is map function? So I'll share my screen. So mapping operation is very basic operation. Let's assume you have a collection. Let's talk about math first. Then we will jump to Python. So if you have a collection and you have some elements in that. So let's say I'll assume the elements are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on, right? So it is a collection. So when it comes to Python, the collection can be anything like list, tuple and so on, something iterable. And you want to map it as per English language. The meaning of map is you can do multiple type of mapping, one-to-one mapping, many-to-one mapping, and many-to-one mapping and one-to-many mapping, right? So here in this video, we will talk about one-to-one mapping. Okay, so now we want to map all those elements from this collection C to some other value. Which values? That will depend upon our logic. Let's say we want to map it to these values. The output will be like this. This is output collection. Okay, and the values are like, let's say 1, then 4, then 9, then 16, then 25 and so on. So mathematically from logic you get to know that each one element is from collection C got mapped to one element in output collection, right? And what is the logic? You can see the logic is every element got squared. Like every element, let's say one element is represented by I, then elements square. Okay, that is the logic. So I is the input and I square is the output. So this is the mathematical part. Similarly, whatever you are seeing on the screen, if you want to do same operation in Python, then you can use map function. Whenever you want to map each element of a collection onto some other element in another collection, then you will use map function. Here the logic was squaring. Instead of squaring, you can use any kind of logic. Maybe add 5, like whatever are the values, I want to add 5 into that element and map it to some other value. Let's say like 1 gets mapped to 6. I'll change the color. Yeah, 1 gets mapped to 6, then 7, 8, 9, 10 and so on using map function. So what happened here? What happened? I is our input. I represent one element from input plus 5. So this operation we performed. Okay, so from this you got the idea. Whenever you want to do one-to-one mapping, then you can use map function. So I'll clear my screen and let's move to Jupyter notebook. Okay, now we understood the map function. So same task we will try to do here. I'm taking a list which is similar to the collection shown on my earlier screen. I'll take elements like we took earlier. Okay, 7. Okay, this is a list. Now I want to do squaring operation. Then there are multiple ways without using map function. I'll show you that. The first one is very simple. For I in L. Okay, what I'll say, I'll write I'll take O as a output collection, output list. I'll write out. Okay, so it will be understandable. So what I'll write out dot append and then I'll pass I square. It is a squaring operation, right? Our problem statement is square each element from list L. Okay, and then at the end I'll print out, like I'll print the output. Okay, 1 second, there is error. What is that error? Okay, that is a spelling mistake. I tapped on the tab, but it took time. That's why I typed it once again manually. Okay, now you can see each element from list L got squared and then stored into another list, that is out. Name of that list is out. Other way to do that is using list comprehension, like same for I in L, and here I'll write I square. Double star represents squaring operation in Python. If I do this, I got the same output. Now I'll show you how to do same thing using map operation. So there is a map function. If I write map and if I press shift tab, you can see the definition of map. Here I'll just copy this. From this doxing, we got the idea that whenever I use map function, it is expecting the first map function expect first argument, expect a function name as a first argument and second argument and iterable object as second argument. Just whatever is shown over here, I tried to put it in another language. So whenever you want to use map function, make sure first argument should be a name of a function and second argument should be a iterable object. Iterable object means it can be anything like list, tuple, something like that. We have already talked about what is iterable and all in our earlier video. Okay, now I will show you how to use map function. So I want to use map function and I want to use the first argument should be function name. So I want to do square and the second one is L. Some L is our input. Okay, but I want for whatever logic here, I want to do the square thing. So I'll write my custom function. I'll write square it. Okay, before that I had to define square it. So I'll write def square it a, and it will return a square. Okay, so now we know whatever value you pass to this function, it will return the square of that particular input value. So I have passed the name of the function, that is square it, and I have passed the iterable object. Okay, that's it. Now I got the output, and that output, it is a object. Okay, map object. If I want to print it, so I'll convert it into a list to print it. I'll write out equal to map, that is fine, and I'll convert that output to a list to print it, and you can see I got the same output. Okay, so in this way I can use it. So my problem statement was square each and every element of L of list L. Let's say now my objective changes. The objective is add 5 to each element of list L. Then again, what I'll write out equal to map. Here I'll write a function name. I'll write a custom function name which I'm going to define it. So I'll write add 5. It is the name of my function, and I'll pass a iterable object, that is list L. So, and what I'll do, I'll define def add 5. Okay, I'll pass a variable and I'll return a plus 5. So we have so whatever logic part was there, it is defined in this function. Okay, and iterable object on logic part is defined here using this function, and you want to perform that logic on each and every element of that list L. So that list is passed over here using map operation. What it will do, it will for each element of L, this add function will be applied and the output will be stored in this out combinedly together. And then what I'll do, I'll convert this out to a list and then it will be printed. You can see all the elements from list L are printed, like the 5 is added in all the elements of list L and it is then printed. Okay. Similarly, this thing can be done using a lambda function. You are aware of, do the same operation. Which two operations? Square and add 5 operation using map and lambda function. Okay, so using lambda function, you don't need to define this function at the like here. What we did, we defined the function first and then we used it. I don't want to define a new function name for such a small operation. For that, I can use lambda function. I have already covered how lambda function work in everything in detail in my earlier video. So how we can do that? I'll write map, then second argument is L. In the first here, instead of passing the function name, I'll write lambda function name, lambda x, and what I want square operation. So I'll write x star star 2. So it is a square operation, and I want to print it in the form of list. Okay, so I got the exactly same operation. Okay, similarly, what I'll do, I'll just copy this. I'm writing all those comments so that you will refer this notebook, and the link for this notebook will be given in the description. So don't worry about that. What I'll do. 1 second. Okay, I'll just paste it here. I'll say add 5 operation using lambda function. So it is again same. I'll write map. The second argument is a iterable, that is list L, and the first is lambda x, and what we want x plus 5 as output. Okay, and I want to, just because I want to print it in the form of list, I'll do list of whole, and I'll just run it, and you see I got this output. It is not compulsory that I need to do only mathematical operation plus 5 or this. I can do one more. I can show you one more example using map. I'll create a one L1, and here you can see all the elements are numbers, but in the format, in the data type is string. So what I'll do, 2 3 4 5 6 7, and everything is string. Now my problem statement is convert all the elements from list L1 to integer using map function. I'll show you using map and lambda function as well. Okay, that is a problem statement. Now what we will do, same map, the second argument is L1, the first argument should be what I'll say, convert to str. It is a custom function name. I'll pass def convert to str. I'll pass a. What I'll write return int of a, right? So if I do this, and just because I want to print it, I'll write list of the whole thing. You can see all the numbers which were string over here got converted into integer and then printed. Okay, because it is just int operation, and we know there is a built-in function named as int. We have seen this at the time of typecasting video. So I can do the same using, so int itself is a name of a function, so I can pass int here. It is a built-in function name. I got the same output. Now I'll show you how to do the same using lambda function. So again, same map, the second argument will be the same L1. The first argument is lambda x int of x. Okay, so if I do this, and just because I want to print it, I'll convert it into a list and then it will be printed. You can see I got the same output. So this is how lambda operation works. So that's it, guys. That's all about how what is map function and how it works in Python, and what is the requirement, what is the syntax. That's it. I hope you got information from this video. If that is the case, please do each and everything you can do to encourage me. Like, share, comment, subscribe, do each and everything to encourage me. This is Akshay Daga signing off. Bye bye.